That's right, don't change your dial. Oh wait, you can't because it's a podcast and you decided to listen to this. Haha, great job for you because it is time for Bacon on the Rocks. I'm Chuck Overnester along with Chris Walsh, and guess what? It is another week. It is episode 25 here for Bacon on the Rocks, and we have a great show for you today. So, kick back, relax, and get ready to listen. But first off, we want to take care of our sponsor, and that is Cookies Q and Creamery, right down in North Utica or up. See, I continue to say down, Chris. I don't know why. Because as Eric had said before, it's that whole thing, and now it's like in the back of my mind.
You're thinking too much.
Just go with it. I'm thinking too much about it. but that's okay. It's up, down, all around. It's Cookies Q and Creamery on Genesee Street in North Utica. So if you're looking for some great ice cream, you can still stop by and get it. Even though, because you know what, this week, and I'm sorry, I hate to bring up the weather because I didn't want to ever do that on a podcast as much as possible, but we were just in 32-degree weather, 30-degree weather, really like cold temperatures here. It snowed even. We had snow. And next thing you know is we are now in the mid-60s, almost 70 degrees this week?
Yeah, central New York.
So, yeah, exactly. It's central New York. You never know what you're going to get. You could get it could be sleeting, it could be hail, it could be snow, and then all of a sudden it's summertime and you're ready to go to the beach. So guess what? That's just the way it goes. That's how it was this week. But so, if you're still looking for ice cream though, like I was saying, it's at Cookies Q and Creamery. They've got that new pumpkin ice cream that I hear is really popular. I got to still get down there and try it. And I'm not a big pumpkin guy, like I've mentioned before, but I still really want to give it a shot and see what it's all about. So, but definitely check it out. But also, they don't just serve ice cream. It is food down there. And let me tell you, one of my absolute favorite dishes down there is the Cheesy Q. And the Cheesy Q is like pulled pork with macaroni and cheese on it, with barbecue sauce, onion rings, and a toasted bun. And it is magical. Absolutely magical. Because I don't know if you ever had that, especially at the hockey games or anything like that. That's where it first came from. And they brought it over there. But
sounds a little rich for my blood.
You can cut it. I mean, that's just it. They give you a lot. I mean, be prepared. Again, they give you a lot. You only need one. You don't need anything extra after that. I mean, and it comes with a side, especially if you get the combo. Comes with a fry and a drink if you get the combo with it. So be sure to check it out at Cookies Q and Creamery, or to see what else they have, make sure to go to cookiesq.com and take a look, because there's a lot of great stuff on the menu. Hop on in, grab something to eat, in and out, no time, 7 minutes or less. They really move there. So Cookies Q and Creamery, we love them. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. Anyways, guess what? It's about that time. Oh, Chris has got his water. Oh, you're good. You got your water. I forgot my water today.
I don't have my nifty glass, though. So
I know, yeah. In case you can't tell by now, we are remote again. We're just playing it a little safe today because I had gotten some news that possibly someone somewhere has COVID. But, I mean, as far as we know, everything is good. The person that we found out was tested. We are all good and clear. It's negative. But there's one more test out there just to be absolutely sure. So for everybody's safety's sake, not risking anything. So Chris is remote tonight. And we're just going to go with it. Hopefully we'll be back next week and we'll all be together. We'll both be together again, continuing on with the podcast, because I really like it when we are together. And it's just so much better when we're actually together doing the podcast than separately like this.
For sure.
So, Chris, I have a question for you, Chris. My question is this: we had to turn our clocks. What is it? We had to go back.
Spring ahead, fall
backwards.
back.
You never want to. That's right. Spring ahead, fall back. So we turned our clocks back, and so now it's getting darker sooner. And you have a dog that and don't get me wrong, I have a dog too, but I don't walk my dog. You do walk your dog though. And do you go out when it's kind of getting dark around 4 or 5 o'clock now, or do you go out before that when you take her out?
I tried not to go out when it's dark with her, because in my neighborhood we don't have a lot of street lights and there's no sidewalks. So obviously, erring on the side of caution, I've had there's the occasion, say, where you get home late and you want to take the dog out for a walk or whatever, and then you get a little iffy sometimes with some cars coming at you and stuff like that. So I mean, I have done it in the past, but I try not to. it also gets light earlier, so I kind of get up a little bit earlier and walk her in the morning, and then if there's time, I walk her in the afternoon sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay, and I honestly appreciate that as a driver, because I'm going to tell you, it's been just these last few weeks. I don't know what it is, but because it's like getting darker, I'm like out there driving, and I'm taking like my son to hockey or coming back from a shoot or something, and it's only 4 or 5 o'clock, but it's getting dark out. And the people I see out there walking now, it's like you always know if you're out when you're out and it's dark outside, you should wear like white colors or reflective colors or some lights or something that kind of, lets you say, hey, here I am. Don't run me over so you kill me.
Yeah.
No, that is not what's happening in my neighborhood. And I swear to God, probably the last 2 weeks, I've had at least 2, maybe 3 close calls. And it's not because it's like I'm being crazy, but it's like, I've got another car coming. You don't see this person, or they're just like walking, because the cool thing is, because of social distancing, people are walking further apart. And so, they're taking up half the road, and you don't see them until the last second. And like you said, your neighborhood's not lit real well. Mine's not lit real well either. There's like little post lights here or there as you go along, but it's not like in the city where, there's lights all over.
Right.
So,
I usually bring a flashlight. Like when I do have to go out when it's dark, I bring a flashlight, and then when I see a car coming, I'm always like waving it around, like trying to let them know I'm there.
You're like an airport guy, like guiding in the plane.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like they think they're going to be abducted by like a spaceship or something when they see the light coming at them or something like that. But I try to let them know that I'm there, and even then, sometimes I feel like they don't see me still. So I try to get on someone's lawn, like get out of the road, get right out of the road. Yep.
No, and that's exactly how I am. Like I would actually, during the summer, I'd go out running really early in the morning, like sometimes I woke up at 4:30. I don't know why, it was crazy, but I would go like 4:30, 5 o'clock because I couldn't sleep anymore. And but I would still, like, I have my iPhone when I'm running, so I'm listening to music, but I turn the light on when I'm running. And then, I keep it at a normal plate. I keep it normal, but if like I see a car coming or something like that, then I absolutely like flick it up and down, purposely to do it. But these people that are walking they don't have any lights, they don't have anything reflective, and they're always wearing a dark gray, a dark black, something black, just a dark color that you can barely see them in until like the last second. Then I'm like jutting over, and then you feel like the jerk because it's like, oh, sorry, I almost killed you.
Right.
So just please, if you're out there, and I mean, I want you to be healthy. I want everybody to be safe, social distancing, everything like that. We don't want anybody getting the COVID-19 there. But, if you could just, wear something a little bit lighter, brighten yourself up out there, bring a flashlight. I mean, let's make it a safe environment for everybody out there. So that's my 2 cents today of Chuck's like, please be safe.
Yeah.
Even though we're trying to be safe today.
There's actually a guy in my neighborhood that remember those when we were growing up, they had those laser tag vests, and they had like the thing you would shoot like right in the center of the chest that lit up. Like he has like some sort of like LED thing that like it goes around that, and it like it's almost like the Knight Rider thing where it's moving back and forth, like the lights going back and forth and stuff.
That's great.
And so yeah, I mean he's definitely noticeable. My wife and I will be sitting there watching TV, and then all of a sudden he'll go walking by, and we started calling him Tron because he sort of looks like one of the guys from Tron. He's got
calling him what?
Tron, like remember the
Tron?
movie? Yeah, he's got all the he's like all lit up like someone from Tron. So he freaks you out sometimes when you first see him, but like he gets noticed.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, now you said he has like that. I would have called him Kit immediately. I've been like, he's just Kit. If it's going back and forth like that, you're just straight up Kit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, but yeah, so please be safe out there. Be healthy. We definitely want everybody to be healthy, but please be safe. Just bring a flashlight even. That's absolutely fine. Shine it in my eyes. I honestly would appreciate it more than if you didn't, because I definitely don't want to put you on the side of the road. Another thing is this week, and I just want to do it. It's for this week. I just found out, and I wish I found out sooner, but I found out that the 5th of this week, which technically by the time you hear this podcast on Friday, it will be yesterday. So it's a little delayed, but it's not so much about the day, but it's about how, there's always like a national day. Every day we're celebrating. It's national this. It's National Pumpkin Day. Which is probably Halloween. It's National, Hug Your Mom Day. It's national. All these ridiculous like days. What's the most ridiculous day you've ever heard of? First off, Chris. Can you think of any? Yeah, I know. I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. But there are some that are just ridiculous. Like you see people posted about them online and stuff. Like, oh, it's National Clip Your Toenails Day or something. I don't know. Like it's like do we need
okay. Honestly, I bet you there is.
I bet you there is too. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not going to look it up, but yeah. So, but anyways, my reason to getting into that is Thursday, so technically yesterday, was National Doughnut Day. Okay, so fine. I like donuts. Okay, that's cool. Am I going to go for sure and go get a donut? Not unless someone's giving one out for free. But with National Doughnut Day. But the thing that gets me is not only is it on November 5th, but it's also on June 1st. So donuts get 2 days, and I love donuts. Again, who doesn't like a good donut? I mean, especially if it's not from Dunkin' because they've really cheaped out on their donuts. Sorry, Dunkin', definitely going to call you out on that. But I don't understand why it needs 2 days. I mean, if it's a national day, it should only be 1 day, just like it's, the 4th of July. It's only 1 day. It's, Election Day. It's only 1 day. It's, it should only be 1 day. Or am I wrong? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Chris. I think I'm right, though.
No, I agree. But if there was going to be a day that has 2 days, it's going to be Donut Day, right?
If you could, think about. Okay, I mean, I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind it. But if there was anything, if you can make up any day, and you can make it 2 days, what would you want to be like a 2 day? At least twice in 1 year, it's special day. I mean, donuts are great. Is it absolutely my favorite? No. But like for me, I would like it to be. I'd like 2 Thanksgivings because honestly, they're a lot of fun. But that's just me.
Oh wow!
So it's like, hey, Thanksgiving, and we could have something, mid-year, somewhere around May, whatever. But but that's a real day. I don't know if you can. Again, I'm putting you kind of on the spot there. I don't know if you have a day that'd be like, this would be great if this was twice a year.
National Purge Day, like in the movies.
Okay. I was going to ask you, I'm like, I was about to say, you mean in the movies or like dump day where you can just purge everything out of your house you don't need?
Well, both,
and they just take it.
Both things, purge.
Wow.
Go out and purge in the streets and purge in your garage and purge in your basement, wherever the case is.
Oh, dear. Wow, Chris, a little aggressive. Holy cow! I hope I'm not on that list.
I was just trying to
twice a year.
I was just trying to get something that would catch you off guard, and I think I got it.
Oh, you nailed it. That's great. Honestly, okay, 2 purge days. So there you go. Everybody, get ready. Chris is ready for it.
Honestly, I've never seen those movies. I mean, I know what they're about, but I've never seen any of them.
Absolutely, I haven't seen it. The closest thing I've seen to it was on Rick and Morty. They had an episode where they like went to a planet and it was their purge day or whatever like that, and Rick was all excited and Morty wasn't. And so, I mean, that's the closest I've gotten to. That's horrible English. I'm sorry. That was the closest I have been to seeing any of the Purge movies. I have not seen any either as well. So I'm with you on that one. Not that I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Just never thought about it. So.
I guess it depends on how violent they are for me.
Do you like violent movies? Let's say like I don't know how violent The Purge is, but I would guess pretty violent.
Yeah, I would think so. I would say it depends. Like sometimes I can do with a little excessive violence if it's like if there's a good reason for it, or if say they're I don't want to say just pushing the envelope, but if like I guess if there's a reason for it, you know what I mean? But I would say for the most part, I would say Star Wars, like the Star Wars movies, has the perfect level of violence that I would like to see in a movie, Like
Okay.
People are getting killed, but it's like not terrible, like that sort of thing. I don't know.
It's not gory where you're seeing them like their heads blowing up or kind of like. I mean, the craziest thing I'd seen is when you got into The Walking Dead, and yes, they're killing zombies, but just to see that's it can be quite intense.
Right. Yeah.
The way they kind of have some of that and the way that they play it out. So.
Yeah, they did some stuff with real people too that was pretty violent. I mean, and I feel like that's for me that's where that show started to get a little over the top. Was like, I don't know, like I didn't make it to the scene where the guy bashed the one. What was his name? I can't think of his name now. The Asian actor. I can't think of his name on the show. Anyway, whatever his name is.
I don't know his name off the top. Yeah.
Tegan or Negan or whoever he is with the bat. I guess he bashed his head in or something like that. Like, I'm kind of glad I didn't see that.
Yeah, Negan had the bat. I remember. Yeah.
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 But they also did the thing where I forget where they were. Yeah. Was it oh God, what was the train station thing that they went to? Like, there were the signs, go to this place. I can't remember now what the place was called.
Oh, when they were walking on the train tracks to get to like that safe haven or whatever. It was I forgot the name of the place they were trying to get to, but they were walking along the train tracks.
Right, and didn't turn out that they were just trying to lure people in to kill them, basically?
I think so.
And they like
I think so.
They like had everyone on their knees or whatever, and they were like slitting people's throats, and I was like, it's a little much for me on a Sunday night, to
Yep.
on the Lord's Day of all days, we're gonna sit down and watch people getting their throats slit. So, I mean, everyone has a different form of entertainment, I guess.
They do, and it's like, and at the same time, though, if you keep it the same, it's like how much of it's entertainment, how much of it is, like you said, like we've got to push the envelope a little bit further so people actually watch our show. Because think about like back in the '80s when you would watch like the A-Team and they'd be fighting off, I mean, you saw cars flying, you saw explosions, but everybody got out of it.
Right.
A-okay.
Yeah.
They're just limping a little bit. Everything's fine.
Everyone dove over
where
the camera.
Now it's like, okay.
They always had the shot where the guy dove over the camera.
Oh, that was classic. And then they're like semi-flipping, and it's just like a clear blue sky,
Yep.
and just flipping right over on that, and then maybe something blowing up off in the corner that's like yards and yards away. So, Yep, it was classic, and that's just it. It's like how far do you push it? How far do you push it? Like the first intense thing I had seen was probably The Shield, where it was more of a grittier show than I was ever used to, I guess, is probably the closest. So that was with Michael Chiklis, and it was, I don't know if you had ever seen The Shield, but it was on FX.
I've seen episodes. I didn't watch the whole series, but I've seen episodes.
Okay. That was what I actually did get hooked on that, and it wasn't really my thing, but it's just, I don't know, I enjoy cop shows, and just to see like the other side and how it's like, that they're bad guys, but at the same time, they try to do good sometimes. It was a good balance of back and forth. Like they can be vicious and horrible and mean, but then they got a nice side too, where they try to help someone out because 9 times out of 10 was to protect their own butts, because otherwise they were going to sit there and go down for whatever it was. So they had to kind of be better about what they were doing. So I enjoyed that show a lot. I really did. It was a good show. So but that was my introduction to anything like that, I guess. It wasn't even gory, but it was more, like I said, gritty.
Yeah.
So, but you had mentioned Star Wars, and everybody knows if they listen to this podcast what came out last Friday. There it is. And in case you can't see because it's a podcast, Chris is holding up his shirt, and it is a picture of Chris.
The Mandalorian.
That's right. Season 2 came out on Disney Plus this past Friday. When we released our last week's podcast, came out that Friday, just before Halloween. And Chris, I'm going to let you take this one because you definitely you have more knowledge on Star Wars, and I am going to ask you some questions because there's stuff that I guess I should have known that you already told me I didn't even pick up on. So what were your thoughts on that first episode overall?
I would say, first of all, spoiler alert.
Oh, Oh yeah. Okay. Spoilers. 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 So
Yeah, if you don't want to hear, if you don't want to,
be
I'm
prepared.
probably not going to go super in depth on a whole lot of things, but like,
Yeah.
I'll say first off that I thought the episode was good, not great. There were parts of
I
it. There were
agree.
parts of it that were real good, and then I guess for me it was kind of like a strange place to pick up the story. You know, like it didn't feel like a season premiere to me. It felt like more like a mid-season episode, like where like last season, say, like almost like a side mission type of thing, where he, the one where he went to the prison station or whatever it was, you know, that was kind of like, oh, I need to basically make money, get some credits,
Yeah.
you know. It kind of felt like that to me, where like I didn't feel like the episode really advanced the overall story in a meaningful way. Some cool things happen for sure, and you know, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, you know, like but like it worries me a little bit that I mean, they'd sort of teased going into the season that they were going to like introduce a larger, more sort of like Game of Thrones style story arc where you're kind of following multiple stories at once type of thing. And I guess they're going to get into that, I would assume. But like, I thought like the first premiere episode was going to set more up and kind of like leave you really like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like the premiere episode where with the Baby Yoda reveal and everything was kind of like, whoa, you know, like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen now? And like I think they tried it, and for some people, like from what I've seen online, they were like, oh, like that, you know, like it worked for them, but it didn't really work for me because so I'll go heavy spoilers here. So if like I don't think I've really given much away up to this point, but like. No, not at all. But like now, I'm gonna go into heavy spoilers. So if anyone doesn't want to listen, here's your cue.
Skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah. So the end of the episode. Well, first of all, he goes to Tatooine looking for Mandalorian armor, or no, I'm sorry, just Mandalorians.
Mandalorian.
He's looking for Mandalorians, and he finds. So right away, you know, that's like for people that have been in you know, fans of Star Wars for a long time, they know that like Boba Fett was on Tatooine and he fell in the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi, and so like that kind of like, especially since they've teased that he was going to be in it. So then he goes there and he meets the marshal, you know, in this town, and he comes in wearing Boba Fett's armor, and I mean, for me, you know, you look right at him, and my first shot when he is like revealed, that the camera kind of like comes off the Mandalorian and shows. I just hit my mic, sorry, and shows shows like the guy in Boba Fett's armor, and my first reaction was, that's not Boba Fett. Like it's his armor, but you could tell it wasn't like his body style. So, you know. That was like my first cue, and sure enough, it's not. It's just the guy ended up getting his armor from some Jawas. Cobb Vanth. Yeah. Cobb Vanth was his name, and he was a character that showed up in some of the novels. And like this is this is a storyline from the Aftermath series. It was a trilogy of books, basically. Told this story of the marshal that was, you know, bringing justice in the Wild West, you know, of Tatooine.
Yeah.
So like it's not like an entirely new character. So when they showed it was him, I was kind of like, oh, like I'm really glad that they didn't do the thing where they brought Boba Fett back from the dead. You know what I mean? Like that. that was my reaction. So then skip ahead to the very end of the show, and I guess they haven't officially said that it is Boba Fett, but like that's the speculation, because the actor who played all the clones and Jango Fett in the prequels, he was the guy at the end. So, and he's got like scars and stuff on his face, and he seems very interested.
Okay, because
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was because you had told me that because I asked you that specifically. I go, who was that guy at the end? Because it looks like I'm supposed to know him, and I have no idea who it is. And then I was wondering, but I didn't want to go too far into it because in case you didn't know, we try to save stuff for the podcast. So we tell each other to shut up whenever we're talking about something that we could talk about on here. We just like in mid sentence we're like, shut up, save it for the podcast, don't say a word. So that's very much. So we save everything for you to keep it as real and authentic as possible. But yeah, that was like one thing I wanted to ask you is like, how were you able to tell that that was him? So I'm sorry I interrupted, but that was my biggest thing. And you said like the scars and stuff.
Yeah, I just assume that like they kind of hinted at it earlier when they said when they're going to find the crate dragon, and they said it lives in what used to be a sarlacc pit, and they say oh well you can't get a sarlacc out of the pit or whatever, and they were like no, a crate dragon can eat it, and then that's how it happens. So I think that that's what they were like trying to set up. That the Sarlacc pit where they were going to throw Luke and Han and everybody in Return of the Jedi, and ultimately Boba Fett fell in. I think you're like, well, how did he get out? And so I'm assuming the crate dragon ate the Sarlacc, and then somehow like Boba Fett got out of the crate dragon or something. Because like but either between the being digested partially by the Sarlacc pit or being in the crate dragon, which has like an acidic liquid, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Yep.
I would assume that explains like the scars on his face.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, I mean, I guess technically as an adult, we never saw Boba Fett's face. So maybe he had scars like that before, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, it's against. I mean, it's just weird that they show him without. It's like, how did he lose that stuff? How did he lose his? Because they're never supposed to take your armor or helmet off or anything like that.
Well,
and it's off. So it's like that's interesting. Like, why is it off? I mean, I feel that if you were eaten by a monster, I mean, this is me not knowing a thing, not reading anything. This is just me trying to use whatever little common sense that maybe is even in my brain. I don't know. But it seems that it's like if this monster is in there, I feel that the armor he's wearing would protect him from whatever that acidic, saliva or whatever the creature had would protect him. And I figured he would have like jetpacked out. That's my scenario in my mind of like, he's in there and he jetpacks out somehow. I could be 100% wrong. So
yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
and then call me out on it, Chris. Don't be afraid to.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah,
that's my big thing is if you're going to introduce a character like that who was supposedly, as far as we had known, I guess technically, I think in the expanded universe and in some comic books, which are no longer canon, like he survived also, I think. I didn't really read into too much of that, but I want a good explanation of like how he did survive, how he got out, and how he survived.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, it's getting to a little bit ridiculous how many people like die in Star Wars, and then all of a sudden come back. Like like how many times can you go to the well with that? That's my thinking on that. I realize that like he's a pretty popular character among the fan base. But, I don't know. Death has to mean something, like...
Yeah.
Like,
but it is a galaxy far, far away.
True.
Cloning and genetics could be a whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is a clone, Boba Fett.
Yeah, okay.
He's, because that was the deal that his father, Jango Fett, who was a bounty hunter... made with the Caminos. He wanted one of his I think he received some sort of payment, but then the other thing he wanted was a clone that was going to age like a normal person, basically, so to raise as a son.
Okay.
And so that's where Boba Fett comes from.
Okay.
So, and to get back to a point you said earlier about the helmet thing, like, before the Mandalorian premiered, I had never heard that Mandalorians don't remove their helmet.
Okay.
Because I guess I never saw. I haven't seen Boba Fett do it. as an adult.
Yeah.
Like you said, like as a kid, you see him without his helmet in the Clone Wars series and stuff.
Yeah.
But as an adult, like in the original trilogy, he never removed his helmet. So maybe there is some validity to that. There's also it's sort of up in the air whether he and his father are true Mandalorians or they're just wearing Mandalorian armor.
And they're just bounty hunters, yeah.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. That's
there's a lot to find out because they left it very ominous and they left it very dark, and it seemed like he was stalking him, and that it was not going to be. I mean, at my point, just for everything that I saw, I'm like, that is not going to be a friend.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, because and again at that time I didn't know who it was. If it is him, it's like whoever that is not a friend, and he's not happy that the Mandalorian is there. So, we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. But I have to go back to Boba Fett's armor. I do not like the whole rocket setup that he's got to sit there and use the little eyepiece that comes down. He targets in whatever it is he's going to fire on, and then he has to take his bag and he has to crouch down, take total eyes off the target. Sorry, I left the microphone. Take eyes off the target and actually shoot it from his back. Come on, it should be a little better. I mean, galaxy far, far away. That's kind of.
Well, he's. I mean, he's got the coordinates locked in with the rangefinder, and then he just gotta go. He just doesn't want to take it off his head.
I know, but it's just, and I understand they're trying to stay true because, again, like you said, he probably fell in the pit, didn't have time for upgrades, didn't have the metal or money or whatever he needs for the upgrades, so he's stuck with the little shoot from my back, hope it hits type thing. I don't know, when they did it, did he ever use that, actual weapon in any of the previous Star Wars?
No.
Okay, because I'm just like, that's just bad. I don't know. I didn't like it.
That's basically a callback to a toy that was never officially released. There was this mail-in thing that you could get a Boba Fett with a rocket launcher that actually launched out the back of him.
Yes, I remember that from one of those Netflix shows with Star Wars, all the Star Wars toys and all that, the history of Star Wars and the Star Wars toys. Yes,
and it never got released because some executives, I think, were afraid that kids were going to choke on the rocket or something like that. It was like a choking hazard.
Bags.
So that's actually one of the most valuable Star Wars toys if you can get your hands on it, because I think it was technically very few of them were actually released. Okay. And so that's kind of a fun callback to that toy, I think. And obviously, you see that the rocket's there, in the original trilogy. I think people just wanted to see it used somehow. I didn't. I didn't really.
Spoiler: it was used.
Yeah, it was used. We already said spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I didn't have so much of a problem with that. I guess I get your point when you say it. It is kind of ridiculous that he's got to bend over like this when he's.
Get that in.
Yeah.
And go.
I mean, if it has a guidance system, shouldn't he just be able to shoot it straight up?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to bend over. Thank you. Yeah, that was even more my point. It's just okay. We got the arc. It's got to go that far, and hit. Okay, we're good. And you stay on target.
Yeah.
But okay, well, that's okay. What I mean, okay, so that was and that's a stupid thing. That's person who's watched Star Wars but isn't crazy into it. What was the biggest thing of the Mandalorian that bugged you the most?
That bugged
was it
me.
Yeah, was there anything in there? I mean, you're kind of saying how you didn't like how they introduced that character. I mean, is that the main thing that you were kind of wasn't too happy about that, or was there anything else in there that you were kind of I didn't like this part?
Yeah, I would say that, and I just wanted more of a serial type of story, a story that's I feel it's going to lead somewhere. But I guess they sort of tease it at the end where this guy's gonna that's the next thing I guess that's going to happen is he's gonna try to get his armor back, or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, allegedly, this is 5 years after. This would be 5 years after Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc pit. So, what's he been doing for the 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why is it taking him this long to track it down? I mean, I guess they have hopefully they explain it. Is my point, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
I hope so too, because it's interesting that the Sand People had the armor.
the Jawas,
Just mounted on a wall.
The Jawa.
Is it Jawa?
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Sorry. See, yeah, my bad. Deduct a point from Chuck.
But I mean, you brought up. I feel like you brought up an interesting point earlier that I hadn't really thought of. Is like, why wasn't it on him? Like, if
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, let's just say there's been theories about like the Sarlacc pit couldn't digest the armor because it's made out of the Beskar or whatever, so it like threw it up basically. But like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't he get thrown up with it? You know, like, why is the armor off him? I guess is because it was on him when he went in. You know, and like, I don't think you take it off when you're in there. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, again, now here I am maybe thinking too far into it, but okay, he has a helmet. He has like maybe something for his chest. He has the back part, but there's nothing covering his legs. I mean, who's to say he didn't die in there? And like you said, it's just his body did finally decompose in there, and then the metal couldn't do anything, so it was just evacuated one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, if he was dead, that would make sense. You know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But that actually brings me up another point. It was like, I do have the thought of, like when the marshal walked into the cantina and he was taking on the mining guild, and like, if you look at the armor, it doesn't really cover. It covers certain areas of his body, but there's a lot of like gaps and stuff, and like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't they ever shoot him like where the gaps are? They always shoot him right in the chest.
Shoot him in the knee.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, even like it looked like his stomach was exposed a little bit, and you know, like, so I don't know. That I mean,
I agree. No, that's my thinking. I 100% agree, but you know, I try not to overthink. I try to enjoy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
As much as I can about it, you know. I mean, I know a lot of people get into, well, that's dumb. It's like, I'm not like that. It's like, you know what? That person's out there making a Hollywood film. Good for you.
Yeah.
If I had that opportunity, all right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I just want to, for the most part, just turn my brain off sometimes when I sit down and watch these shows. But like sometimes, I don't know. Like when we get together and talk about something like this, I'm going to overanalyze everything, you know, like that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I really enjoy like all of it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I did. I enjoyed, you know, the second season. I enjoyed that first one. I definitely did. I don't think there was, I mean, like you said, we're overanalyzing it. I mean, sure. I mean, the only thing that did bug me is he had to bend over to sit there and shoot a rocket. That's probably the biggest thing that bugged me. Other than that, guess what? I was fine with the rest of the thing. The only thing I was disappointed in, because they showed in the preview, is why is he freaking on a ship? He can fly. And I think we discussed this before. I want to know this whole reason for the ship that he's on. That's my biggest thing. I can't wait to see that episode, because there's no reason he should be on a boat. He has a spaceship. Fly where you got to go. That's my 2 cents.
yeah.
And he has a jetpack.
Yeah.
So, you know, why take a ship that's going to take you days to get somewhere, or hours, when you can get there in 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah. We'll see.
So,
we shall see.
Yeah, we will see, and we will let you know. I will make sure to let you know. And Chris will have to try and settle me down if it's really ridiculous, because if it's really ridiculous, you know I'll go off on it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So go ahead.
Now that I just thought of this too, is like one thing that kind of took me out of it a little bit too was when the Mandalorian started talking Tuscan with them. Like,
yes,
it's something like, when the Tuscans talk, it sounds legit, you know, like it sounds normal, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how they talk or whatever. But then when he started doing it, I was just kind of like, oh, you know, like that, just something about that just doesn't sound right. And I sort of like if you've seen, have you seen Solo?
No, I haven't seen.
Oh,
it
you never
yet.
saw Solo. Oh man. Well,
It's okay. You can tell me. No, it's
well.
okay.
There's a
Trust
part.
me,
There's a part where, like in the original trilogy, let's just Han and Chewie, like Han never speaks Wookiee. You know, like Chewie will say something to him, and he'll just respond to him in English. You know,
he understands them.
right?
Yeah.
So in Solo, they actually show Han speaking Wookiee, and I was just kind of like, you know,
okay.
like, and I had that same kind of feeling with this, where I was just like,
Okay.
And it's
The
also
only thing.
Go ahead.
The only thing I could say about that is, and again, I could be speaking I am speaking out of turn. Is I like you said that, and I'm like, okay, why would it be? And the first thought that came to me is maybe he has a synthesizer that it's like he could manipulate his speaker through his helmet. I don't know if he has a speaker for the helmet either. It just sounds like it's very tinny. Not that it's like underneath a mask and like muffled.
It sounds
More
like
that
it
it's
sounds like a speaker.
there's
Basically, yeah.
There's a speaker. So I'm like, what if he has like a translator thing in his, galaxy far, far away helmet that they're able to do that? I don't know. I mean, that's me being
It's an interesting point.
critical.
Like the Star Wars equivalent of Google Translate.
Exactly. So, but go ahead. You were going to say something.
And then like I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but like in every other medium, basically the Sand People have been like kind of marauders, or like they're not friendly to deal with. But like for some reason, the Mandalorian in season 1, he was able to negotiate with them, and then again here. So I'd like to know a little bit more about that backstory too. Like how does he know the language, if he does know the language, and like how does that one thing I was thinking about was the Mandalorian doesn't remove his helmet, and like it's this thing about showing his face, and then the Tusken Raiders, aka Sand People, they have their like shrouds that they put on and then they never remove them. So I don't know if there's like some sort of weird kinship among the
some parallel there.
Like the like the Mandalorian and the Tusken Raiders. I'm not sure. And also like there's a bunch of themes of like throughout the whole first season and even in this episode, people teaming up that are sort of at odds with each other. Like the Tuskens and the town people, and then Grief Karga, the Carl Weathers character, like they end up teaming up with him at the end. When they're kind of like they were kind of like enemies, and I mean other instances too. So like it seems almost like a running theme in the show that I kind of picked up on in this episode especially.
Yeah. I don't know, because I was thinking just like I'm comparing other things, and I knew where you were going, comparing the Tusken Raiders and the Mandalorian kind of together. But if you also look, like the Raiders, they had a really long gun that they would shoot with, and the Mandalorian's gun, it's pronged. It has like 2 points to it or whatever when he's using it, but it's a long gun as well too. So I mean, there's another. I don't know. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, maybe similar cultures or something like that, and they kind of like.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of larger backstory there? I'd like to know.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we talked about the part that maybe bugged you the most. What was your favorite part?
Probably just I like the whole crate dragon, see it in live action. It's been in some novels and video games, but never really in a show. I mean, I guess technically in the original Star Wars, when C-3PO was walking in the desert, you can see the giant bones or whatever. So like that's a dead. That was a dead one, but like you've never seen one like moving. So that was like cool. Like I like how they did the whole thing. I like how it moved underground, and I like how they showed it. And I thought that the whole sequence was cool, and like the CGI was like movie quality as far as I was concerned.
Oh yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So it's great to see like a weekly television show about Star Wars that has like high quality production. So
yeah. My favorite part is much more pathetic, but it was what you saw in the trailer when they put it out about a month ago, is when the child, Baby Yoda, just pushes the little button and ducks in because he knows that the Mandalorian's about to go crazy on all these guys.
Yeah.
I think that's the best. That was my favorite part. And just that little bit of humor is just like, oh, I'm out. See
Yeah.
you in a few. I like that. I like comedy when you can mix it into something like that. That was perfect.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen that in the trailer, I probably would have, it would have been like
I would have laughed more.
Yeah, I would have laughed more. Yeah, because I did laugh.
It would have been more
in
enjoyable.
in the trailer.
Yep.
I thought that scene was well done. But I thought it was weird how the Gamorrean just dives out of the ring, and then everyone just moves out of the way, and he crashes onto the bench and onto the floor. It was
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like a joke, like
It was supposed to be comedic to a degree.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it really was. They were trying to make it funny, serious, yet there's some humor to it.
yeah,
So I like the whole thing. I like it when he chased him down, and then he's, and you knew it's like when he said it's like, don't kill me. And he's like, I'm not going to touch you, basically, is what he said, or something like that. And then he just shot out that light, and
you won't die by my hand. I think he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good. Yep. That. What were those things though that with the red eyes that were going to get him? Do you know what those were?
I don't know exactly. They're some sort of hound.
Okay.
There's speculation online of what they actually are. There was an episode of Star Wars Rebels, the animated series, where they went to this planet, and it was an old base from the Clone Wars where it was abandoned, and it was overrun by these creatures that didn't like light, so they would stay in the darkness. I forget what they're called, but like this isn't that planet, definitely not. So I don't know if they'd be like the same. And it also artificial light didn't hurt them. So it seems like whatever the light was coming from, maybe it's a different like what are they called? I don't know, like an infrared lamp or something. Maybe like something that like or a UV lamp or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it's like some sort of special design or whatever, but like in that show, it was like it had to have been sunlight and not just like any sort of like flashlight or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
also the interesting part is though the Mandalorian shoots out the light and is walking away in the dark. Granted, he could be walking to another light post, but all of a sudden all the little critters went after just that one guy. It's like, well, if everybody's going there, that guy's all by himself. I should go get him. Yeah, just me, overanalyzing. I think I enjoyed that sequence. It was more of the humorous one, which is more my type that I like. But I like that the way it started it off that way.
yeah.
So right into the action.
Yeah. I remember watching it, and I like when that was the very first scene of the episode. I was kind of surprised, like from the trailer. We saw like a lot of that from the trailer, and I was kind of like, oh wow, they're picking it up right here. Like I didn't really expect that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, I think so. So what's your overall, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season? I know you saw a little bit of the trailer, but have you heard anything else, or is there something you're kind of looking forward to or expecting?
Yeah, supposedly we're gonna get the live action debut of Ahsoka Tano, and that'd be my biggest excitement. Rosario Dawson is supposed to be playing her.
Okay.
And then I guess there's speculation because they don't really have like an episode list released, but they have like who directed what episode. And so Jon Favreau directed this season premiere episode. And he's not he comes in again at the 5th episode, I think they said it was.
Okay.
So there's like speculation that she's going to appear in that episode. Like I don't know exactly what they're. I think they're solely basing that off of Jon Favreau directing it, and like having him be like the big guy that's directing like the big reveal type of thing. But like I don't know if there's validity to that or what.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing,
Okay.
and I just want to see I want to see where the story goes. Like that's my biggest. Like now we're trying to get Baby Yoda back to his people or to the Jedi or whatever. Like I want to see.
Yep.
I want to see progress, I guess. Like where I don't feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe like when Friday's episode comes out, it'll be like, oh, now it all makes sense, or something like that. But like that was my initial feelings on the episode was like, I just want to see more progress in the story.
Yeah. Yep. And speaking of that, about like, okay, next Friday, what now? If this were Netflix, Netflix usually takes a whole entire season and puts it all out right at once. And this is with Disney Plus. They put out an episode every week of The Mandalorian. Which way do you like it better? Would you rather have everything all at once so you can binge and see it all, or do you like it where you can kind of be like absorb what you saw, think about it a little further, and then go on to the next one next week? What's your feeling on that?
With this show, I think that they release it weekly. It's hard to wait a week, you know. But I mean, that's how we all grew up watching TV. So it's kind of like it's like a throwback in that
we're used to it.
Yeah, we're used to it. Also, I like to like watch the episode and just kind of enjoy it, and then I'll watch it like either like sometimes 2 or 3 times more, just to like really try to catch everything that I might have missed, you know. Because like that's one thing with this show is there's so many like little Easter eggs that they put in there that like it's hard to catch them all like on the first viewing, I guess.
Sorry, you said catch them all. I'm thinking Pokemon. Sorry,
catch them all. Pokemon Go.
Did you ever see Detective Pikachu?
No.
It's pretty funny. I think with Ryan Reynolds playing Pikachu, it's pretty funny. I think you would enjoy it. I think Summer would enjoy it. It's not it's not bad. I don't think. There might be like one part, maybe, but other than that, you know.
Yeah, well, I let her watch Cobra Kai, so I think she can handle it.
Did you? Oh, okay. Speaking of Cobra Kai, did you see that they have them for season 3 and they're already signing them for season 4? Netflix is already asking and giving them a season 4 as well, and season 3 hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, I did see that.
I couldn't believe that, and I enjoyed it. I loved Cobra Kai, and honestly, that is one of our highest listened to podcasts as well. As I've been looking at kind of some of the hits, so thank you everybody. That is like one of our highest listened to podcasts. So definitely when season 3 comes out, we'll definitely be covering Cobra Kai for that. But yeah, I'm excited that season 4 will be coming out as well too.
Yeah, for sure. I've been waiting for season 3 for a long time now. So to know that season 4 is coming. Hopefully, I don't know if they're going to do like the year wait or whatever, but like just to know it's coming, it'll be good.
Yeah. Yep. I know it's going to be tough with production, obviously with COVID going on. So I don't know how fast they're even going to get. I don't know how far they were into 3 or anything like that to kind of get into 4, but who knows what they'll do. We'll see kind of what happens. So, but definitely excited about that. But anything else you want? I don't want to leave without anything else you want to touch on there about Mandalorian and the season premiere.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think so. So I enjoy, Chris enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's on Disney Plus. If you don't have it, we're big proponents for Disney Plus. We really enjoy many of the shows that are on there. So definitely check it out. Hey, Disney, sponsor us. But with that, I think we'll kind of close it out for today. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we close it out here?
I think we're good. Hope everybody had a safe and happy Halloween.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of Halloween, as you know, Chuck, we went. Well, our daughters went trick or treating together. So
no, we went trick or treating. Don't let Chris fool you. Yeah. We went,
and we did see a Mandalorian and Baby Yoda combo costume out there.
Yes, Chris was very excited. He goes, "Those are the best costumes." When his daughter, if you saw his daughter, she was dressed up in a very custom, very cute costume.
Button candy.
Button candy. Yeah. So if you know what that is, if you're older, it was that little piece of candy on a piece of paper. You can sit there and you just pick it off and eat it. So it was that. If you're younger and you don't know what we're talking about, just type in button candy. It'll pop up. But it's just a long strip of paper that has like 4 or 5 little dots on it. And they're just small little pieces of candy that you would just take off the paper and eat. Whether you used your mouth or your finger, that was up to you. So would you use your finger or did you use your mouth when you usually ate those?
Honestly, I don't remember. I
probably. I gave you one right now. How would you eat it?
I wouldn't.
It's that good, folks.
I was thinking to myself, though, as you look at it, it's like that's like the type of candy only like real little kids enjoy. You know what I mean? Like the pure sugar where literally no sort of like nutritional value or anything like that.
There's none.
And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, it doesn't even look good to me. You know, like I don't even. I ate it when I was a kid though, all the time. But like,
Yeah.
Now
I'd want to try it again, 1 or 2 pieces, and just be like, what, just to reminisce quick. But yeah. But I would definitely eat it directly from the paper. I would not be picking it with my finger. And that was because whenever I picked it off with my finger, the paper would come up with it, and then it was a pain in the butt to get it off. So it was just easier to use your teeth.
Yeah, you did eat a lot of paper with that.
There was paper, but that's okay. Yeah. Paper's good for you.
Paper's good for you.
Fiber. It's good fiber. So, okay, yeah. So we hope you had a good Halloween. Obviously, we hope everybody got out there and did your vote thing. But with that said, we would like to once again thank Cookies Q and Creamery for being our main sponsor. We appreciate it. So make sure to check them out at cookiesq.com. They have delicious food. They have fantastic ice cream. Everybody else is closing up for ice cream, so definitely you can get a great meal and have a treat after that you can bring home, and you're not going to be sorry. It is fantastic food. So stop by Cookies Q and Creamery down in North Genesee Street. And make sure you let them know that we told you to get down there. Make sure, if you get any food, make sure you make it a combo because you won't regret it, and it's a heck of a deal. So with that being said, I am Chuck Obernesser along with Chris Walsh. Thank you very much, Chris. And we will see everybody next week for another episode of Bacon on the Rocks.